Hi, Osadi. Hello, Osadi. Osadi, system එකේ නේද ඉන්නේ? Hello, hello. login වෙලාද ඉන්නේ? ඔව් මට කියන්න පටන් ගන්න කිට් වෙනකොට දැන් මම ඉන්නේ සිස්ටම් එකේ. ඔව් අපි ඉස්සලාම මේ අද ප්‍රින්සිපල්ස් වලට අසයින්මන්ට් එක කතා කරමු අනිත් දෙක හෙට කතා කරමු. Okay.
Sir, shall we start, sir?
Okay. Hi everybody. Good evening
Hi, sir.
everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay.
Sir.
We are going to start our second presentation of our principal module, but before that, based on the request made by the management to explain a little bit of the assignment. I don't know, Osadi, you have distributed this assignment to participants?
Yes, sir. I uploaded
Okay.
that to the
Okay.
elements.
Okay. This is the assignment. What is this? Identify the different procurement principles, right? So the procurement principles are spelled out in the guideline 1.31 and 1.32. 1.31 and 1.32. So we'll have to consider that guideline. 1.31 discuss about the value for money principle, which is considered as the very important primary principle. I think we discussed that, some points we discussed. The other principles are spelled out, list out in the 1.32 para. Such as, I can read out the guideline, relevant page. Yes, 1.31 say primary principles of procurement, which is the primary principle of public procurement mainly emphasize the value for money. So that is a separate principle, maybe the core principle. The other principles, if you list out under 1.32, A, transparency. Number B, integrity. C, fairness. D, openness. E, cost effectiveness. F, competitiveness. G, accountability. Those are the principles. I think altogether, how many principles we have? 9? Yes, 9, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Altogether 8. So what I say, and that are described in Government Procurement Guideline Manual 2024, and select one procurement principle. What you have to do is, based on your choice, you can select 1 out of 8 and develop required toolkit, checklist. What is this? So we have explained little bit about the principle. What is transparency means, what is value for money means, what is accountability means, etc., etc. But it does not sufficient for procurement entities or government institutions to comply with. Comply with in the sense, the guideline again say, you will come to know soon when I discuss the details about the guideline. The entities should send a report to National Procurement Commission through their ministries. So you are working in departments, corporations, whatever, or public companies should send their compliance report to NPC through your secretary. What is compliance report means? All the procurement contract you have awarded during the period, maybe 6 months, we have given, I think, 6 months or annual report, say 6 months, all the contract we have awarded under different methods, international competitive, national or shopping or direct or whatever. Whether you have adhered or complied with these principles. How we can do that? It is not easy. For that, entities need or government institution need some sort of checklist. Checklist is something like this. For example, transparency. If we have followed this thing, okay, we can say that procurement is transparent, right? But again, we'll have to think, can we comply with 100% compliance? Because there are a number of sub-criterion under transparency, right? For example, if you look at transparency, public advertisement or open competition is important through advertisement. If you call or deal with contractors, suppliers directly, it is not that transparent, no? So sometimes we have to follow, but it is not transparent. So direct method is okay as far as the provision is given. But as far as the transparency principle is concerned, it is not transparent. Even national shopping is less transparent because we call a couple of quotations. But international competitive bidding, we widely publish our advertisement, and national also an advertisement that is basically considered as more transparent method. So many other points are interrelated. So when we discuss that, I can go into detail. I think I gave in my first presentation also some points. So therefore, you select one principle and develop user-friendly. It should not be very complex, very complicated toolkit which the agencies can't apply. So your assignment is to develop a user-friendly, simple toolkit. At the end, we should be able to assess or estimate the degree of compliance, because degree may be different, maybe 100%, maybe 25%, maybe 50%, something like that. So you'll have to give some grading. We cannot give some, say, if within 25, 0 to 25, one category, 26 to 50, another category. You have to give some marks for that. If it is 75 to 100, we give, for example, if you give marks, 4 marks, for example, 4 marks. If it is 75 to 50, 3 marks then. 25 to 50, 2 marks, 0 to 25, 1 mark. That is an example, right? If it is not comply at all, 0 marks, right? Normally it is not practical. We can't say 100% non-comply. But anyway, my point is the degree of transparency depend on how much you follow these criteria or sub-criteria under the principle. If you look at international website, especially I have given the OECD, they have developed various checklists. You can explore other website also, for example, UNDP, or World Bank, or ADB, or JBIC. You try and see whether they have developed some checklist or toolkits. We normally use these two words, toolkit or checklist. So that is your assignment. So, but at the end of the day, supposing you have 25 people or 28 people, or how many people you have, I don't know. Everybody ultimately select almost all the principal. All principles should be covered on the other side. Oshadi, you'll have to ensure that everybody should not select one, say, the transparency like 15 people, continuous people, another 10 people. That is not the way. So you'll have to spread over the participants. Ultimately, we should cover all 8 principles, right? So that up to you and to the administrative people, your program coordinators, to ensure all principles are covered from your assignments. Okay, the assignment say one principle and develop required toolkit to checklist that are necessary for procurement entities to ensure the degree of compliance during the public procurement process. Because this principle should not only limited to one stage. It will go or spread over all 3 stages. You all know what are the 3 stages: planning and preparatory stage, pre-contract stage, that means notice to contract award, then contract awarding phase. So post-contract stage also, some points are relevant. So that is the basic idea I have given. In this endeavor, you are free to explore and appropriately use. You cannot copy the OECD checklist and submit as your assignment. That is not acceptable, because I know what they have written, right? Use the toolkit checklist that have been developed by international institutions such as the OECD. OECD means Organization of economic cooperation and development. Any question regarding your assignment before we start our presentation? Any question?
So we have to follow that same checklist, no? Then we don't want to explain any points. Only the presentation format, just like
presentation format, you'll have to explain a little bit. Narratives should be given or some brief explanation. I mean, that should not be one-page checklist. It is an assignment. You'll have to explain what is the toolkit you are going to use, how you are going to adapt, and something like that. Okay.
it means first of all we have to make the checklist, and we have to additionally provide what we mean that each point.
Exactly,
Like
exactly.
Okay.
Because
So
at the end of sorry.
What is the minimum word limit to cover?
Normally, for this assignment, I think 3,000, no? Oshadi? Word is 2,000.
Yes, it has been given. It has been given in the.
So what is the word count? What is the number of words maximum or something?
Right. Please wait, sir.
Okay, please check. Maybe you can check and you can get to know. But the idea is your checklist should be user-friendly and usable. Okay. In order to apply for their procurement process. It is something like a workable arrangement you are proposing to prepare their compliance report. I said they have to prepare a compliance report for each and every contract they award, right? So it is not an easy task, it's a new task because the rationale is this. Despite we have explained these principles in the guideline and manual even before that, we just read. That is only the literature. So we don't know whether the entities are comply with. So now the agency, National Procurement Agency, has been established under the Constitution to ensure public officers, public entities are adhering to procurement procedures laid down in the guideline. One is the principle. Very important thing is whether they follow procurement principle. So I'm telling you one example. IMF has reported to the government, copy to NPC also. Now, many government departments and ministries and corporations, the default method has become the direct method or shopping method, right? Direct or shopping. So they deviate from competitive method and ultimately end up with direct method, for example. What type of transparency is there? What is the competitiveness? What is the value for money? What is the accountability and fairness? Many principles are violated, right? So that is the rationale or what is the objective of this assignment. And you have to practically use this in your office if you are working in the government, right? That may be useful in private sector as well, even though they are not very conversant with this all principle. Some principles they also concern with. Okay. Any other question before start our presentation? Everybody's clear? Your mic is not clear. Maybe you have to reduce the.
Can you hear me, sir?
I can't hear that voice clearly. Maybe you have to reduce the volume or I don't. Please ask the question again.
Sir, my question is that
minimum words is not including in the assignment submit in the open university web portal.
What did you say? I can't hear you properly yet. What is your question?
So I think he's trying to say there is no minimum wording he's mentioned in the assignment.
No, I
He's
have
trying
not
to
mentioned. This is the topic I have given to the administrative people. They will, give their in a normal format and give. It doesn't matter to me, the minimum word. It is up to the management or coordinators to look after. I don't mind 1,000 or 2,000. I don't mind. So let discuss with your people.
That
Right.
in the assignments, only one procurement principle we have to take and explain
Yes,
the
only
throughout the
one.
procurement
Only
process.
one.
No?
Only one.
Okay.
Okay. Right. If you have any further question, you can ask later. Then we'll start our presentation. So, can you see this one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, this presentation has two parts. I will discuss the salient point of the procurement guidelines. I think we have another presentation on this area. I hope. Anyway, we'll see what we can cover. Right? If you look at our guideline, there are a number of chapters, say 16 chapters. Chapter 1 discuss about the governance of procurement actions. So you have to read, to understand more details, you have to read the guideline. I advise you to get a printed copy of the guideline and manual. The manual is also now already printed. You can buy from the government printer, right? Please make sure you have a copy, right? So this course, we are not based only on the guideline, but guideline has a big impact to, or as a training material, it has a big usefulness to your program. So please keep a copy or a soft copy, I don't mind. So the second the chapter is procurement methods and bidding procedures. So we'll discuss later. Another one is procurement planning. You have a separate module on this. Procurement documents, you have not, at the beginning, they have not planned for a separate module, but based on my instructions, they have arranged additional workshops for this. Also, they will tell you the information. Probably after October, we can start procurement documents. It is not examinable, but for your knowledge, your practical exercise, this is very much important. How to prepare different procurement documents, right? So that is another chapter. Procurement process, in a nutshell, all the stages and activities are explained for government organization or officers to understand the procurement process. Then this is another very important module. So bid evaluation. So this is basically cover from your decision making module, right? So we have already done the first one, and tomorrow we'll do. So planning is a different one, and evaluation another one. About of contract and contract management. So you have a separate module on contract management as well, right? The sanction, debarment, and blacklisting are coming under policy, procurement policy. Even this is also coming under policy. Method and bidding procedures coming under policy. Procurement essential requirements also coming under policy, basically somewhat relevant to the evaluation as well. Procurement of information systems is also basically different procurement. We can't say different. We have works, goods, services, or we can say IS, information systems also. Because it has two components. But maybe one is goods, another one is consultancy part, intellectual part. Because if you want to develop a system, you need some hardware as well as you have to develop some, you have to buy some hardware is goods. If you purchase software or something, it is coming under goods category. But if you want to develop software, it is not goods, no. So you'll have to use consultants and do that. So information system as a hybrid. a mixture of goods as well as consultancy services or expert services. So electronic government is also another area. You will get another presentation. Is we can say some modality. It is a modality of procurement. Now we are doing manual procurement. If we fully adapt to EGP, so we switch to electronic procurement. This is another area, public-private partnership. I think you have an optional module. I don't know whether anybody has selected optional module. Previous years we didn't do, but I think it is a very important area. Completely, this is not public money, number one. That is, I said earlier also, this is private money, investors' money or private proponents' money. They invest on various infrastructure based on government invitation. Then the selection method, documents, evaluation, everything is different, right? Not like normal works goods or not like consultancy service, not like anything. It's a completely different procurement, private, public partner. Sustainable procurement is also part of a procurement that we have included in chapter 16, a little bit of explanation, description, but hopefully we will issue a separate guideline on sustainable procurement. Sustainable procurement means basically, I think you are familiar with green procurement. Green procurement or environmental aspect of procurement. So that is covered from green. So green goods, green construction, right? And not only that, there are other aspects of sustainable, social aspect, economic aspect, and various other aspects also, institutional aspect, in addition to environment. So all are different areas of procurement. Don't worry right now, but to understand your guideline and manual, because this idea of this presentation is to spell out the salient features of the guide. And please understand, this presentation will not going to cover every point in the guideline because it is not possible. It's a big manual, big guideline. But I discuss the salient points or important points. And then I'll discuss later, maybe some other day, what are the important changes we have made, right? Important changes we have made in the guideline. And I'm telling you right now, you will get a question, all right? You will get a question. At the beginning, I'll tell you some hint for you to prepare your exam also, right? You can prepare right now. I'll give a rough idea of question. What is this? For example, I just write that something you can, yes. Identify the issues that are appearing in country procurement system and critically examine new features of the government procurement guidelines and manual 2024. Oh, this. The pages of the guidelines and manual. And what? Okay. Access. The implication of new features to address the persistence or current issues you have identified the procurement system. This is the question. This is basically you have to identify the issues. What are the issues you can identify? Even right now, you can think of that. What are the issues? We'll discuss later a little bit. Or I will tell you some issues. Oh, right. And critically examine. Critically examine. That is another thing. So that means that is your knowledge about the country procurement system deficiencies. You better identify and you have to assess or examine the new features. There you must be very familiar with the new features we have laid down in the new guideline, and you have to assess the implications to address the issues. To address, that is another one, right? You are free to give your ideas, right? And you have identified the problems. For example, what are the issues? Maybe a model question. Model question. Right? What are the issues you can think of at least? Let's tell me. Anybody?
Yes, sir. Actually, the process, the beginning point, the identify the need, the assessment, so what we want to procure.
Okay. Good point. So though we prepare plans, that is not proper need assessment is not done. Yes. Any other thing? You have to be critical, right? Delays are there. I said long delays are. Corruption is there. Violating of principles is a big problem. Transparency, various things are. So identify the issues you can think of. And you have to identify new features. then that new features you will understand from my presentations, right? And see slides and other discussions, you will understand new features. Then you have to assess the implication, how this new feature address to delays. New feature has implication to reduce the corruption, various things. So that is the question. Okay, so you can think of that. You can ask question if you have, otherwise we go to. Okay, so sustainable procurement. Now go to chapter 1. Chapter 1 say purpose. NPC has established in terms of Article 156 of the Constitution. I'm telling you, this is the supreme law of the country. Supreme law is the Constitution. This guideline has developed based on the authority given to National Procurement Commission under the Constitution, our supreme law. Therefore, this guideline has a very high legal impact, right? Nobody can, violate, because that is you are violating the Constitution. That's the thing. So even though we are going to introduce a new act, it is only a umbrella act. Guideline is part and partial, and so it has enough legal backing. Even before that, Supreme Court and all other court judicial system consider our guideline as the law, even though we didn't have a law, right? I'm telling you that has a big impact. Under the Constitution, the NP has given the authority to issue guidelines, various guidelines, and monitor, investigate, and various things are there. Other guidelines, I said in this manual guideline, we have mentioned what are the other relevant guidelines that is interconnected with NPC's role. Selection and employment of consultants, PPP, contract management, pharmaceutical guideline, many other things are there, etc. We can say etc. It is not, because still we are developing different documents. Right. I said emphasize the VFM, and that is your assignment. VFM and other principles. That is emphasizing the procurement guideline, right? Scope of application. So that is this guideline apply to the public procurement process. Now you know there are 3 stages. It entails 3 stages, right? Right. Another point is this guideline is mandated to all government institutions. Now you all know what are the all government institutions. We have mentioned earlier also, ministries, department, etc. So another important point you can read when you read the guideline. This once we issue this guideline replace or repeal, otherwise supersedes. That 3 points. Replace, repeal, or otherwise supersede all guidelines. All guidelines we have issued previously pertaining to works, goods, and non-consulting services. Because not for consultancy, not for PPP. That is, this guideline is for works. I mean, if you look at the guideline, its guidelines say goods, works, and non-consulting services, right? And manual, and all the supplement circulars issued earlier. So therefore, don't take previous cabinet papers or previous circulars is effective. Once this is implemented from 1st January 25, all are repealed, right? Any procurement action commenced prior to, but still we have say prior to, sorry, this is 2025. Prior to 2025 shall continue, right? It is not a problem. Now it is already done, because now we have gone many months. Earlier, previously started process, they could have followed the previous circulars or cabinet papers or whatever. So this guideline contain other important things, ethics. So we have given some extra points, a declaration especially, that is a mandatory declaration. That is important. Whatever highlight, you can put a note. Bidders as well as public officials. There are two types of declaration we have given. Public officers should fill and give. There is no conflict of interest, something like that. Bidders also should. This is a new one. This is a new one. That means bidders should sign a declaration. I have not submitted multiple bids under different names or something like that, right? If come to know that I have submitted 2 or 3, more than one, all bids will be rejected and bidder may be suspended or blacklisted. So that is a new one. Please note down. I don't know what has happened to this one. Okay, right. Bidders one is a new one. Public officers one earlier. Then prohibited practices. That was there in the previous guideline also. We have explained what is the corrupt practice, fraudulent practice, collusive, coercive, obstructive. I mean, that is part and part of the corruption and malpractices in procurement. There are various ways we can misuse public funds, not getting money only over the counter or something like that from the contractor. There are many other ways we can. The Bribery and Corruption Act also define this. Now you see a lot of cases are going on. Examine, they have use prohibited practices, right? Don't think you take money from anybody. Take money from contract is only the corruption. Even nepotism, various kickbacks, various things are there. I don't want to explain everything. So you can discuss, read the guideline and understand that. Sanction. So this is also a new one. Debarring bidders as well as public officers. You see, earlier we never mentioned about debarring or sanctioning of public officers. In this guideline, we say a public officer also reveal that he has done some wrong things or conflict things, then he can be suspended, right? In addition to the official inquiries and other things. So in case far as the procurement process is concerned, he can be removed from procurement involvement for a certain period. That is a new thing. All things you have to note down. Whatever I say, don't just listen and you note down and think and you refer the guideline, how it affect to the country procurement system to improve. Earlier I gave a question also. These are changes. For example, public officers should a declaration and how it affect to reduce the corruption or conflict of interest. And also we say we debar or sanction public officers. That is a new feature. That has an implication to improve the country procurement system, more transparent, more honest procurement system. And from bidders' part also, they submit several bids under different names, right? So that is a common practice. So that new guideline has introduced a new declaration form. It is a part and parcel of the bidding documents or procurement documents. Bidder should fill and give it to the agency. Conflict of interest. So that has been defined when correctly. I think I gave that one earlier also. Bidders and public officers. Earlier also we mentioned. That is related to Anti-Corruption Act number 9 of 2023. So all new things you can think of. The conflict of interest, I think I explained earlier also, need not to explain again, means any situation where the personal or business interest of any person in public procurement transaction would adversely affect the interest of procurement entity in achieving economy efficiency effect. So that is, you see, adversely affect to what? Achieving economy, efficiency, effectiveness, transparency. What is this? Equal treatment to bidders. What is all this? This is violation of principles, right? Principles. So now your assignment is also related to this. You should prepare a checklist or toolkit how the agencies are going to look after the principles properly. This 4 number, economy, efficiency, effectiveness, basically the value for money. No? The others are transparency, fairness, etc. are other principles. So what we are going to understand is, if you really adhere to the principles properly, or degree of adherence is high, that you basically comply with good procurement system, right? So that is okay. So as I mentioned in the guideline also, your assignment also, there are principles. Primary principle is value for money, or mainly emphasize value for money, value for money. So those who select value for money, you can see lot of documents in the website regarding VFM. Now you can check. VFM is the achievement of desired outcomes. I think in my presentation I explained you outputs, outcomes, etc. of the procurement at the most optimum price, not necessarily the lowest price, right? You understand? On a balanced judgment of financial and non-financial factors. In case of value for money, not only value, the financial aspect is important, non-financial factors also should take into account, because our ultimate thing is outcomes. Relevant to procurement, VFM include the economy. I think we explained that. I don't want to spend time on that. You can read the efficiency, effectiveness, etc. This is a new one. The red I have given is a new one. It was not there in our previous guideline. Equity principle. What is equity? Equity is spending fairly. Spending fairly. සාධාරණ විදිහට වියදම් කරන්න. To ensure that goods, works and services are available. Services are available. Available and accessible. What is this point? We can construct a road, highway, by following economy, efficiency, sometimes effectiveness, but sometimes it may not be equity, because it is aimed to a very small fraction of the population. Sometimes we need to construct some highways, but how many people can use that? Whether the service is available to the majority of the population, or something like that. So that is a new principle we have given. Then other principles, because even though we have given earlier, transparency in public procurement means the information on the public procurement process must be available to all stakeholders, such as contractors, suppliers, service providers, and general public at large, unless there are valid and legal reasons. Some some information we can give certain information, right? So that means what we do, anybody can see. There is no hidden things, right? There are many other factors interrelated to transparency, but just to get an idea that normally, if you do a thing transparent, everybody can understand that. The way you have selected or rejected and things like that is transparency. But if you, as I mentioned earlier, if you follow shopping method as your default method, it is less transparent because we call only 3-4 people, right? It is not widely published. And as a result, competition is not there. As a result, economy is not there. I mean, we have not good competition among the contract suppliers, and many things are there, right? You can think of. Integrity is related to ethical values, or basically you can say honesty and truthfulness. It is considered a key instrument to promote governance. I think we discussed good governance in public procurement. It demonstrates a strong character imbued with moral principles and conviction to do right things. Right things. You do right things. Again, to a heart and soul sometimes, even in difficult circumstances, in line with the organizational values, etc. Integrity is the use of funds, resources, assets, and authority according to the intended official purpose, in line with public interest, right? So that is some explanation, but if you want to elaborate that, you have to go to website and read what are the relevant factors for integrity, and you will understand more details. Your guideline cannot give all the information. That's why I say you have to explore the website, international information, right? Fairness means reasonableness and impartiality. Impartiality, basically. We cannot prejudice. We cannot prepare a specification, for example, to cater to a particular supplier. Or we prepare buyer specification. It is not fair by others, something like that. Fairness operates in a manner that perceived as offering an equal opportunity. That's what I said, equal opportunity for bidders. If you prepare a buyer specification, so other people, even though they submit bid, that will be rejected. That we say you have specifically not comply with our requirement. But we have purposely prepare our specification to cater to one particular supplier, right? It is called bias or I mean something like that. So for that one, you have to prepare specification generic specification. That is a common. Everybody can follow. For example, earlier also I said, if you want to buy a vehicle, don't put 1500 cc. Maybe your lack of awareness or understanding of the industry, you may put, or purposely you put 1500. Because the point is, there are vehicles in the market less than 1500. That means not 1100 or 200. That is not our expectation. That there may be 1450 or 1510, for example. If you put exact 1500, both 1490, which is very close to 500, and 1510 is 10 unit higher than this, become non-responsive. So, but knowing or unknowingly, you put some information that is against the fairness principle. Now you can see, when you scrutinize the procurement contract awarded during the period 6 months or 1 year, how many procurement we have awarded using violating the fairness principle, integrity principle, transparent. So in order to catch in order to identify the degree of compliance. Now you have a assignment to prepare relevant criteria, sub-criteria, and things like that. So don't think one criteria, maybe sub-criteria. Under one criterion, you can identify sub-criteria or criterion. That's what I said, you must explore the information. Fairness operate in a manner that is perceived and equal opportunity for bidders to win contract in accordance with the agreed set of rules and not for prejudice. That is the word. Don't prepare prejudice or bias conditions. Sometimes we put conditions. Very unfair conditions. For example, we want to award a contract for 100 million, but we request bidders to have 500 million experience. Can anybody tell me what is wrong with that? So in the bidding document, I say bidders should have 500 million past experience. Is it correct? Correct or wrong? Hello? Anybody can?
Sir.
Yeah, is it correct? My question is, we want to award a contract for 100 million construction. For the bidding document, the bidder's qualification we put, bidder should have 500 million for the last 3 years or 5 years, whatever. Is it correct?
Oh,
Huh?
it's wrong because we need to consider what we expect.
What we expect is 100 million. Then what is the past experience we can put normally if you consider the fairness principle?
100 million or 150, maximum 200 is okay.
100 million is the maximum because if we have 70% of the work, right, previous work, it is sufficient. That is the accepted norm, right? If you have done 70 million about 3 years ago, it worth more than 100 million today, no? Because of the inflation and all. So normally
Yes.
that is the accepted norm is 70%, right?
Okay.
So, but if you have put 200, 300, if you don't know real meaning of fairness, and we say, okay, that is right. But you as procurement expert, you are becoming expert if you really analyze this. And if you say, no, that is wrong, then how many contract we have awarded that way, it is violating the fairness principle, you can identify. You see that how critical the procurement subject is. Nobody can understand by touching the surface. You don't understand. You have to go into detail. You have to understand the mysterious stories behind this procurement jargons of procurement business. So I am giving you some more details to think deeply. Openness. Open means that given the use of public funds, public procurement opportunities should be open to all qualified firms and individuals. So restricted one, limited one is also against the openness principle. Even though we pre-qualify, that is okay. It is also, we can say, but it is not wrong, but it is not open to everybody, but it is okay. And the public should have access to information pertaining to public program. That is another thing. Transparency also we said. Cost effectiveness. I think I explained that one. Cost effectiveness is something, is the use of resources. One thing is use of resources. The other thing is the intended outcomes. That is a comparison between the intended outcomes and how much money you have used. So if you look at many public contracts, public procurements, if you consider the money we spent and ultimate outcome we have received, we can see whether it is cost effective or cost ineffective, right? So that is, you have to think those who select this one. So read more and more materials right now and try to understand deeply the subject and how we can develop a good checklist. Based on that only your success. Cost-effective procurement is a process of obtaining goods, work, services the most efficient and economical way, right? Competitiveness, that is a very straightforward principle in relation to public procurement. Competitiveness means giving all qualified potential bidders maximum opportunity to participate, right? That means we publish advertisement, but even though we publish, put in some unnecessary restriction, we tarnish the competitiveness, reduce the competitiveness, right? If you look at, you will understand how we can tarnish the competitiveness, even though we advertise unfair condition we put. Earlier I discussed that. Even though it is competitive, but many people can't bid. It is against the competitors as well. That's why I said all principle is generally interrelated. So we cannot isolate one principle which is not connected. It's even transparency is also interconnected with fairness, integrity, and many, many things. Accountability, finally, is a very important thing. Basically, people don't really understand the difference between responsibility and accountability. Responsibility means then an obligation to perform a task. An obligation to perform a task. That is your response. If you have done the task, that is you have done your responsibility. But accountability means it includes responsibility. That means you have to perform a task. But additional things you should think, you should be able to explain and justify the actions. If you define the accountability is an obligation to explain and justify the actions taken to perform the task. To perform the task is responsibility. Accountability is further, all the actions you take should be able to explain and justify. Okay, so in procurement business, how we can define accountability, and we have public officials, we have different committees, and we have different what do you call this, scrutinization, auditing, and COPA, oversight bodies, and something like that. So they look at your accountability obligation. So in procurement, you will have to develop a checklist how we can see procurement is comply with accountability principles. So with this, we'll go to another idea. Chapter 2. Chapter 2 basically various responsibilities we have spelled out. Roles and responsibility of National Procurement Commission. Just read that. Roles and responsibility PE. That is important. Here, one very important responsibility is the establishment of PMD. So that is a new change we have made, right? So new change in the guideline. Now procurement profession has identified as a separate discipline in the government system. All ministries, all provincial council, departments, corporations, etc. should identify a separate division as a procurement division. And officers attached to that division we propose in the guideline should be designate them as chief procurement officers, in addition to their existing positions, right? But the point is, we identify procurement is a separate profession, like finance profession, human resource profession, marketing profession, engineering profession, something like that. right? This is a very big change we made, and we have given a huge list of responsibilities to PMD people. So PMD people should be the procurement experts to that organization. That means if anybody has a problem, PMD should be able to give some policy clarification or um, solutions. If you submit a bidding document, they should be able to scrutinize and check and vet the document and identify the lapses we have done and proper monitoring, and many things are there. So this is a very big change we have made in the guideline to change the procurement system of the country and address many issues I have identified in the procurement system. So in PMD, they have to train procurement officials, other people also. That is their job, because the national level or NPC, or that is none of our business, or even ministry, they can, but national level program, we cannot provide training to everybody. It is not possible now. So therefore, PMD, maybe some small staff, expert, they should be able to provide capacity building of their own organization. So ministry people, ministry PMD can train ministry people, or sometimes the department people as well. At least if they have department, they can train their own people. So
Here, excuse me. Yes, sir. PMD Procurement Management Division.
Procurement Management Division.
Ah,
So that is a new division should be established from 2025, right? I think many organizations, they have already established and operating, but still there are some problems are there. But the problem is we don't have expert officers to appoint to this. That is, we understand. So you all are following the master degree, and you get at the end, you acquire proper knowledge and improve your skills and all, and you will be the right people to serve in these PMDs. And in the future, I know probably they will consider the qualification. I mean, in the qualification, even now they consider you get the best opportunity to serve in procurement divisions, because I said in the beginning, procurement profession is a very highly paid, internationally recognized profession. So that's why you have applied for this one also. This is officially recognized in the guideline, and also this is a recommendation made by the IMF also. IMF also said we want a professional cadre, right? We need a professional cadre in government organization to handle procurement, because unprofessional, incompetent people make a lot of mistakes, and ultimately that will affect the country procurement system, and that reduce the level of governance of the country. I said you, procurement is a very high impact to determine the quality of the level of governance. Procurement quality depends on how you manage your procurement. So therefore, I give you a point, one point, very important point for your assignment also. Think of that. And there is another important thing, acceptance commission, new thing we established in new thing. That is also has a very high impact to address many issues in the government procurement system. So you better look at this in details in the guideline and manual readout. In a nutshell, acceptance committee is a new committee. Their role is to ensure before we accept the goods to issue acceptance certificates, right? Works or goods or service. In case of works, I said earlier also, engineer's role is unchanged. They will do engineer as all and work with the contractor. But once the construction is finished, engineer should take over the completed building and hand over to the organization or procurement entity or employer through the acceptance committee. So they will ensure the quantity is correct. For example, 10,000 square feet is correct. Quality is correct. Quality, it doesn't mean the acceptance committee should check from the beginning till the end all quality, but based on quality assurance certificates and control mechanisms and various, in case of goods inspection reports, international accredited reports, various methods are there to ensure the quality is there. And the cost they have paid, whether there is a variation from the contract award price and ultimate payment amount, that may be because of variations. It's okay, but the committee should identify what is the initial contract price, say 50 million, how many variations given within contingency or outside contingency, price variation, quantity variation, ultimately end up with 65 million. So they have tried. And also the time given to the contract is 6 months, but end up with 8 months, a 2-month delay. All things should be highlighted in their report, right? And also there are another two very important things I mentioned earlier also, but for your assignment purpose as well as question, I have given the question also. It has a big impact to asset recording. So I said the purchased assets are not recorded properly in the government system because of the accounting system we follow. Our accounting system is cash-based still, not fully accrual. So therefore, assets are not recorded. Auditor General has also pointed out in his report, government loan is 13 trillion, for example, but we have only 3 trillion or 4 trillion asset. 9 trillions are missing. It doesn't mean 9 trillions are robbed. Maybe part of the assets are robbed, but that is an accounting problem. For example, I said all the construction work, say Mahavali or Uma, has not taken into asset recording. That should be in your relevant ministry asset, fixed asset ledger. Those are assets. But due to existing accounting system and various other problems, those are not taken into account. But that is the inherent accounting problem. But sometimes that is corruption. So undone work, not incomplete work, the payments are made, but construction is not properly done. Instead of 12 feet road, actually width maybe 11.5, 6 inches, maybe, if we really check. Some works are not done at all. Only it is appeared on the voucher. But hereafter you can't do that. Whatever the small work, whatever, that should be confirmed by through the acceptance committee before taken into asset records, right? If it is not verified, that asset cannot be taken into account. No, that is the accounting principle, right? Unverified things, if it is not physically exist, you can't take into account. So therefore, that is one thing. I think you know that there are a lot of vehicles are missing in government sector. It is because of this deficiency. The NPC, we have identified that deficiency, and we propose this acceptance committee to do many objective. One thing is proper asset recording, and also ensure the asset ownership. For example, vehicles are purchased. Sometimes not vehicles, sometimes buildings are constructed, especially under project. Those are not government lands, constructed on private lands. There are cases, if you really analyze. Nobody is looking after the deeds, right? It is not the practice in government sector to check the deeds. Now, the guidelines say the acceptance committee should ensure the asset is owned by the organization. Vehicle is owned by the secretary or whoever in charge of this ministry. So,
excuse
yeah.
this acceptance committees coming into the power at the end of the procurement, I think, because
Exactly.
after the
Exactly.
procurement, if say let's say this is a building,
Yeah.
after the construction completed, only this acceptance committees come into the this process.
Correct.
Then,
Not in
if the
between. Not
yes,
in
if
between, because it is not possible, right? It is not
yes,
possible. That is looked after by the engineer or consultant. So
uh,
their
no,
role is there. Yeah.
yes. My point is, if this building has put up on others' land, if that is not the government land, then the acceptance committee will determine find it at the end of the process. Then what
Yes.
can they do?
Yeah. You are perfectly correct. But since it is there in the guideline, at the very beginning, all people should cautious of that. They know at the end, how can we hand over the to the agency with government ownership? Then we have made a mistake at the beginning. They can correct. Okay, at the beginning they have to check before we start the construction. So because at the end they have an obligation to hand over this completed building to the government with asset ownership. No.
Yes.
Okay.
So other one is some organizations now recently they are appointing the acceptance committee and the bid evaluation committee as the same committees. Yeah, people
No,
like
not same committee. Maybe some same people.
People are in the same committees. Yes.
Committee. It is not a problem. It is not a problem. Because we don't have many people, many expert in organization. Say an engineer, for example, is serving as a BEC member, but he can be served as the acceptance committee also, because there are other members also. No, I mean that is inevitable. That is not. If we say you cannot put, I mean that we don't have enough people. Number one, and we at least we don't have enough experts. Therefore, that is not a problem. Okay.
Then, sir, if the Beck has made some mistake when they are in their role, then if it has found by this accept, sometime they can trace this by the acceptance committee at the end of the procurement. Then, is there any conflict of interest?
No, because there are three members, no? Say one
Yes.
member is the engineer, for example, or technical person, but there are other two people, chairperson and other member. Everybody should not from the technical part, no? Maybe one.
Yes.
So other two are there. The majority is against that maybe. So he can, I mean, if he is doing wrong thing, it is not possible because other two also have the responsibility. No, they have the responsibility. They will not do that, right? So
yes, I have experience with like this because BEC also one engineer is a member, but now the same engineer is in the acceptance committee also. Then when when they do the evaluation, the engineer shall have to play his role as a technical expert, but the acceptance committee also he is the only person that has that technical
knowledge.
capability.
You are correct. You are correct. So that is the government, that is a pathetic situation of the government system, right? I understand fully. So if you have different engineers, different expert, we can have two different people to two committees. But if you don't have, so either we have to get some person from the ministry instead of the same person. That depends on the organization. That is also possible, no? We can identify some other person. If it is not available, it is not possible to put the same person, another person from another organization, or maybe in the different organization under ministry, right? It is possible all. I mean, we cannot control 100% of these practical things, but in the future, once we come across some sort of a conflict or something like that, very concrete things, we can think of that. But at the moment, we are not restricting that because we know the lack of expertise in government. Even there, we don't have enough people to appoint to PECs, bid evaluation committees. No, that is the problem. I understand your thing, but we'll do and see what is the implication in the future. If it is a serious issue, we can think of in the future. Anyway, I understand that. Ensure the comply. On the other hand, if there is technically ignorant, all other members, they can do this work also. There should be a technical, even forget about the engineer's role, complex goods, right? So how to say equipment, how to identify the equipment if they don't have the knowledge about the technical part of that, right? So otherwise they have to completely trust on the papers given or inspection report. So that is not correct. Therefore, we will have to have experts under different areas. Engineers, technical expert, IT expert, mechanical expert, different expert, finance expert, things like that. So we'll think of that way for the time being. Oh, something is wrong. I don't know whether. Sorry for that. Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
sir, thank you.
I think I have disconnected that my mic.
No, sir, we can hear you.
You can hear, no? Appointment of PC, BC, and AC. So we say another change we have mentioned here. The bid evaluation committee not mandatory for other PCs other than the high level. It doesn't mean we don't have, but you can have one committee. I said earlier also that is another change. You can put in red.
So asset and currency also not mandatory.
It is mandatory.
Mandatory requirement. All the procurement. No.
Yeah, it is mandatory. I mean, BC not mandatory in the sense all experts and non-expert work together and come to a conclusion. If you wish to do that, right? If the head of the department or secretary wish to do that, it is up to the organization. We are not insisting, right? Because it doesn't mean they can do the work without expert. Definitely, expert should be there.
Is this only the eliminated part?
What is
We
eliminated part?
BEC not mandatory, but previously we discussed many new things have been added to the guideline.
Okay, this is also a new thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
The previous all things are compulsory, right?
This is not compulsory. This is not compulsory. That is up to the head of the department or accounting officer or chief accounting. If they wish to have two committees, they can. If they have to one committee consist of a technical expert and other people together, that is up to the organizer. It is not mandatory. That is not a must. We say you don't have BC. We say if you wish, you can have one committee because to save the time. And sometimes we know there is no much value addition from having two committees, especially procurement committees and bid evaluation committee or technical committee earlier. Generally, the technical committee recommendation is accepted by the procurement committee in most cases, 90%. Very rare occasion they have different opinion. So therefore, the bid evaluation committee is the important committee. Therefore, we say instead of bid evaluation committee, procurement committee consists of technical expert and everything. If you wish, have one committee and take decision. Okay.
So asset and currency is a contract administration part in the procurement, no?
Yes, basically contract administration. Yes, because after awarding, no, everything is done. Then after awarding, the contract administration comes. It is a part of the contract. You are correct, right?
So how many members should be in the acceptance?
Three
committee?
members. We say 3 members. Minimum 3 members. They can have more members, but minimum 3 members should be there because always they have odd numbers to take majority decision shall prevail. One member may be object, they have dissenting comment, but ultimately majority decision will prevail. That's why always 3 or 5 or something like that. Okay. Okay. Everything is fine.
Yes, sir.
Right. Right. So before we go to the reporting responsibility, we'll take a small break, but you better read what are the important new changes we have mentioned. I have put in red color, consolidate. Okay, just look at that. Right. Take a 10 minutes break. Okay, shall we start again? So we were discussing about the reporting responsibilities, ability of chief accounting officers, accounting officers. There are new reports now the government organization should submit to the NPC. One is the consolidated procurement budget. That is a very important change we have made, because I said we don't know exactly what is the procurement expenditure in the country. In my introductory presentation, I said, because procurement coming not only from the national budget, their own budget, their own revenues are used, especially the banks and statutory bodies, provincial council, local authorities, especially they use their own revenue. It is not reported as procurement. We don't know. We can't confine the national budget is the only source of procurement. And also I said the PPP is also procurement. However, the new reporting is there at the beginning of the year. They have to prepare a procurement budget, identify procurement budget and inform, right? All capital expenditure allocated by the annual budget estimate and all recurrent expenditure allocated to be spent following the procurement procedure shall be identified as the procurement budget. In addition, their own revenue, etc. Another change we have mentioned earlier also, they have to submit their detailed annual procurement plan or prepare their detailed procurement plan. You all know that what is detailed. Now the ministry or the chief accounting has the responsibility to consolidate all detailed annual plans of their ministry and all organ coming under the ministry and submit to the NPC for monitoring purpose. And I said now we have an electronic monitoring system and online monitoring system is there. So all people can join to the NPC monitoring platform. That is also a new change. Red line is a consolidated plan to be submitted. This is the one you are doing as the assignment. Procurement compliance report, I said earlier also, to be submitted annual and biannual. All the procurement contract awarded. Consolidated procurement compliance report ensuring that public procurement principles have been properly adhered. That is the idea, no? So that's why you are developing a checklist in order to see how the degree of compliance. We cannot say 100% or 0. That should be in between. So that all depend on the criteria or sub-criteria you identify and give some weightage for that. And ultimately, they have to calculate each and every contract, the degree of compliance with transparency this much, accountability this much, things like that. In relation to each project shall be submitted to the National Procurement Commission. That is also another requirement and new area. Another one is procurement performance report. This is a quarter report. That means I said we establish acceptance committee. Acceptance committee report. If you look at all acceptance committee, the agency can prepare their performance report. Performance report is nothing. All the contracts are awarded and executed, confined, tally with the actual quantity, quality, cost and time against the plan for each contract. It is shown in detailed annual procurement plan together with the name of each supplier contractor and asset records and asset ownership. So if you look at this performance reporting also, that is basically mechanism is coming from the acceptance committee report, right? Then we know all the contract awarded are properly executed and quantity is correct, quality is correct, time is correct, or some deviation may be there, and assets are properly recorded and assets are owned by the agency. So that is another big change. I think if you look at the history of government procurement, even today, some construction or repair works, small maybe, minor maybe, are not done, but payments are made. So those certified by technical officers has been done or fully done, but not fully done, maybe partly done, but fully paid. So there is no way to rectify that unless acceptance committee, some mechanism is there, because you know that the organization setup is there. So those are new changes. For your exam question, you will consider the implications of this committee, acceptance committee, and based on that, the performance report.
Regarding the compliance report,
Okay.
that compliance report is prepared by the procurement committee.
No. Agency, PMD is the authority for that.
Right, PMD.
Yeah.
Then it should be sent to NPC.
NPC through your ministry.
Right. Yes, sir. Now, suppose I am a member of PMD.
Okay.
Then I am preparing the compliance report.
Okay.
I can give that wrong information to the ministry.
Okay.
Then,
So, okay, correct. What we can do is we say you have to use your internal audit department. So every ministry department, you have an independent officer called chief internal auditor or director internal audit. So they are independent people. The head of the department can get their assistance to prepare or check the compliance report, right? PMD is not solely responsible. It should be done by an independent person, but PMD is responsible to communicate that to the NPC or ministry.
Information. Yes,
Yeah.
normally compliance reports are prepared by a third party.
Yes, third party in the sense the maybe some external consultants, especially value for money. For example, we have mentioned in the guideline also. I mean, our knowledge, officers' knowledge may be sufficient. For example, take a very high value procurement project, say highway, super highway project. I mean, do you think that we have the expertise to prepare a value for money report of that project, considering all economic aspect, efficiency, effectiveness, integrity, and everything? So therefore, guidelines say you can hire an external consultant also, because at the moment we have not requested to submit BFM report for everything, only the project more than 750 million. Okay, here we have given above 750 million. So your question is okay. We can, if you don't have the internal capacity, you can hire expert even for compliance report also, right? For the time being, because that should be correct. And the thing is that should be checked by auditors also, no? External auditors. Auditor General Department also check. If somebody prepares a wrong report saying, say PMD or whoever or internal auditors by mistake or something, that again checked by the auditors also, external auditors. All reports you prepare, they also check whether that is correct. If something happened, you are answerable. Okay?
Okay, sir.
So we can prepare wrong reports, but you are accountable.
Sir, detailed procurement plan is prepared based on the action plan, no? If
No.
it's
No. That is, I said earlier also, based on action plan, you prepare master procurement plan. That is 3-year procurement plan. And considering 1 year, so upcoming year, so next financial year, you'll have to prepare another plan, proposed plan for budgetary purpose. I said to you ask 400 million, budget department will give only 200 million. Then you have to cut some procurement and finalize what is your actual implementing plan. That is called the detailed procurement plan. That is the actual plan you are operating within the financial year. That is the third plan, right? That plan you can change time to time because based on the priorities and things like that. There are a number of plans we discuss, right? So all plans are discussed in the procurement planning introductory thing. And also I think we have another opportunity to discuss more detail, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay, and also I request you people, so don't hesitate to ask question and don't worry about the language. Even Sinhalese or English, you can ask. Unfortunately, I can't understand Tamil, but we are free to talk any language because we want to understand everything, right? Though it is English medium basically, in some case, if you want to get more clarification, if you are comfortable, ask in English also. So PMD, I said, very high prominent given. A procurement management division established in a ministry shall be headed by a chief procurement officer, appointed by the chief accounting officer. In case of a department which has high volume of procurement, should also be headed by a chief procurement officer, right? That means chief procurement officer position normally second in command, like additional secretary, or chief finance officer level, right? Chief procurement officer is also second in command. In our context, is a special grade officer, right? We don't say which service it belongs, that up to the secretary to decide, right? But their responsibilities are spelled out in the manual. So the CPO position is warrant or okay with high level procurement departments as well. But in other case, we say not more than that value, high value, they can have a senior procurement officer or procurement officer appropriately, suitably qualified and competent in subject to the procurement, public procurement. That is very important. Selecting the people is up to the head of the department or secretary. That is, they have to carefully select those who have the competence and in knowledge in procurement subject. CPO, whoever assists chief accounting officer for the entire procurement man, but don't take the wrong idea. They are not doing procurement. I said that is a conflict of interest there. So procurements are done by different officers as you are doing right now. Engineers maybe, some officers maybe, it's okay. But PMD is like, say, guiding them, monitoring them, assisting them, advising them, training them, and also liaison officer to the NPC. So there's a link between PMD head and the NPC. And PMD head of ministry with all PMDs or procurement divisions of departments cooperation. That type of arrangement should be there. For example, if you take Ministry of Finance, it's a very important ministry coming under all banks, for example. If bank has a problem, if they can't solve, I mean, the PMD should assist them to clear their documents and various things are there. I mean, in the real case, that is the thing, but we understand it is not possible within a very short period of time because of the lack of competent people. So, but that is our expectation. Okay. CPO, SPO, whoever, entire program process of the PE and function as a liaison officer. That's what I said. Liaison officer to the NPC. There is the linkage, right? So I don't want to read out all. You can, read and you understand all the activities they have to do. There are 24 activities, right? Say, for example, prepare required procurement documents. So that is their job. That is not the BEC job or procurement committee job. So that is the pathetic situation in government organization. They don't have expert knowledge and they assign that to bid evaluation committee. That is not correct. Bid duration committee is there to approve that document prepared by other people. If the PMD has no authority, I mean no competency, they can hire external people, external consultant. That is no harm. So all the things they have to coordinate, bid opening committee meeting, debriefing meeting, manage all things and coordinate expert into all procurement related activities, relevant committees, all committees, acceptance committee or procurement committee, they have to coordinate. The secretarial job to be done probably from the PMD division, right? Basically. Obtain necessary approval for various committee recommendations. Ultimately, they give the determination and to get the approval from the cabinet, for example, that should go through the PMD, right? Oh,
Acceptance committee responsibility also go through the PMD division. PMD?
no. That is a separate committee, independent committee. PMD can monitor and coordinate that committee as well, like BC and the procurement committees also, and variation committee, and the various committees are there, bid opening committee, and various committees are appointed. But PMD appoint them on behalf of the head of the department or coordinate them. I mean, appoint in the sense they do the administrative part of appointing. So ultimately, the head of the department or secretary will appoint, but who will assist them to organize this administrative things by the PMD. Acceptance committee is an independent committee like BED, Bid Duration Committee. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Even appeal process, they have to facilitate for appeal process. Now it is the appeal process is highlighted in our new guideline. Appeal process, procurement appeal process. So they have to send letters and intention to contract award and various things they have to do. Contract awarding process, signing of contract agreement, where publish information. I said I don't want to read everything because of the time problem. And assessing the performance of suppliers, another thing. Who will do that at the moment? Nobody is doing that. Once we awarded the contract, then who will keep the information about their quality deviations, cost escalations and disputes and delays, etc. Those are touched through the acceptance committee. But to take actions against these people, to blacklist them, suspend them, to maintain a proper database. Here, maintaining a database. The PMD should maintain a database of such information. For example, I'm telling you that is, we have another word for that. The word tracking system. What is this? Supplier or contractor? Supplier performance. Supply means everybody, yeah. Tracking system. So that will be addressed in our contract management guideline. That means at the moment we don't have that. That's why we don't have blacklisted people, even though we have a lot of issues. That is a very hot topic discussed everywhere. Even though we have a lot of malpractices, violations, nobody is blacklisted. Why? We don't have a proper database. So we propose in the procurement contract management guidelines such as system. So PMD is the place to keep such information. Then if one person is delayed based on the acceptance committee report, so they put a note, X, contract X, delayed 15 days in that's contract. The same person will be deficient in quality in another contract. That is also recorded. Another contract, a third opportunity, he is not properly performed, halfway has abandoned or something like that. And various occasions, they will come across some deficiencies in the of a same person. So now it is recorded in system, and now they can take action to blacklisting, right? So that is very important change we have made. We have facilitated will be facilitated in the contract management guideline. The duty is with the PMD. You got that point correctly?
Yes,
Sir, who can responsible for the blacklisted to suppliers? Who's the
Sorry.
responsible?
That
Who's
is
the
there are committees are there. So we discuss in different organization the blacklisting. They have to appoint a committee. We'll come to know that. We'll discuss that. But to maintain the database, data is with the PMD. The PMD has no authority to do all things. They are doing by independent committees. We'll discuss how the organization setup we propose in the guideline to blacklist people. My point is not blacklisting. To blacklist people, we should know their history, no? History of their lapses, performance.
Yes.
Yeah, that is done by a PMD. Okay.
Okay,
And
sir.
various other activities. Prepare monthly statement of forecast cash. That is another big thing you will come to know. For example, just think of that. How many contracts we are implementing in a ministry? How many works contract? How many goods contract? How many service contract? How many consultancy contracts? Things like that. So what is our present arrangement? When the engineer or whoever submit the part payment, that goes to, by approving other people, go to finance department. And in goods contract also, vouchers goes to finance department. Finance department has no idea to plan their future cash flow, because that information is not coming to finance department, right? Then they all vouchers accumulated in the finance department, they talk to they prepare a cash flow anyway, but that cash flow not consist with correct information coming from implementing department, say procurement information and various. They have very correct information about the salary and all, because they know exactly that day salary and other payments are made. So all other, especially procurement, nobody is giving proper information. And we, in the contract management guideline, we discuss a contract administration plan. Based on that, the PMD can coordinate with the people and prepare their cash flow requirement in order to make the payment. Something like that. It's a big discussion. I don't want to explain, can't explain within a couple of minutes. So monthly statement of forecasted cash requirement to be prepared by the PMD using all P as contract administration plan. Yes. Right. So I don't know whether you understood that. It's a complicated thing. At the moment, we don't have such a plan forecasting. What we do is, normally we consider the rest of the allocation, and we tentatively think this much we have to spend in this month, but that is not correct, not based on real information. So that is basically wrong. And Sometimes we can't make payment because we don't have money. Sometimes we have money, we don't get vouchers. So that is the problem, right? So because lack of proper cash management, cash forecasting. Providing assistance to take over, taking over. I said the completed works, the engineer should take over from the contractor and hand over to the agency through PM. Accepting of supplies goods, service, and keeping inventory records. Keeping inventory record is not PMD job. There are different people. No, they have to check that. I mean, acceptance committee to check no ownership, everything. So all say ownership, say deeds. Where we keep these deeds or the vehicle registration books, copies, where to keep that? Now we have a place to keep this in the PMD, for example, right? Asset ownership records. Maybe now, maybe in the administrative division or finance, we don't know, different people, but here we identify in a systematic way. Dispute resolution, to assist, they are not doing that different arbitration or various adjudication, amicable settlement. So all things they have to intervene and assist to the relevant parties. Custody, safe custody of documents, securities, procurement documents, procurement files. You see that? Now we have identified. Monitoring, that is a very important thing I said also. Monitoring is done with the assistance of EMD. Updating details of DAP and plan and actuals of the completed contract quantity. So that is, if you look at the detailed procurement plan, somebody should complete that. If you look at the earlier discussion, I think I discussed with you that there are a number of columns, rows, say this is the plan date for the advertisement. What is the actual date done? Who will put that date into the system? PMD. Not anybody, because the other people can put, but PMD will coordinate that. For example, engineer is responsible, for example, for some construction, but advertisement is coming from the PMD. So the plan date is 15th February, but actual date maybe March or February, June or whatever, because of the delay in the engineering department. The PMD should look into that and talk to the relevant engineer. Mr. Engineer, please be cautious about that. Your date is 15th February. Are you ready? Something like that, All things are now not doing anybody. Any other duties assigned by head of the department. Okay, now I don't want to take everything you can discuss, but this duties we have identified, the PMD is a new dimension, new discipline of the government procurement system and government management system. You will understand how that will affect or imply implication to the good procurement system of the country. So if you go back to your topic, I gave the exam topic, the implications of PMD's work can discuss. Okay, any question up to now?
Yes, sir. That it was newly introduced the PMD and also the position also the senior procurement officer like that.
Yeah.
So even the ministries also newly introduced this PMD division.
Okay.
So, but sir, are there any the salary scale difference or existing staff absorbed as this position?
At the moment, we are not talking about salaries because that is none of our business, number one. So the Treasury Management Service Department is responsible for that. But we say identify competent people and identify their designation properly, and also will issue a guidance note in the future how to retain these people, and some modalities we will propose. Okay, for example, you all know all line and service people are transferable people. So they have the choice to go to another department or now ministry, or if they get a promotion, they will go. Nobody can stop them. But supposing we identify a person and train him or her, and invest money to train, to provide a good training to PMD people. If they go after completing the training without providing proper service to the organization, that is up to the organization to decide, right? They have to provide some, they have to follow some, obligatory service of contract, something like that, like our establishment code says. If you go abroad and some obligatory service agreement you have to complete, whatever it is, similar to that. That all up to your management. We are not interfering into that, but we propose in our, we will issue guidance note to this, right? So
I feel that if the beside the salary skill also is more valuable to those positions. That is why I am asking.
yeah, I know that, but it is not possible in the government service, no, to give different salary scale. That is not possible. But some way, other incentives, providing international training, some, providing workshops, or various opportunities they can be given to incentivize them. And at the end, if they work properly, they have opportunities to work in projects as procurement specialists on second-month basis. Those are the benefit they can get. So I can't answer and give sufficient satisfactory answers to every question, because we know that public sector is a different thing. Private sector, you can do that. Management can increase their salaries and all, but it is not possible in the public sector. But some other way, we can incentivize them by providing more opportunities for in training, something like that. But anyway, my request to these people, okay, you work hard and get the knowledge and work a couple of years, then you acquire required skills in procurement, you get a lot of opportunities. I'm telling you, we are having a lot of procurement specialist opportunities in the country, but the problem is the people are not up to even advertise. Even now, there are high salaries are paid, even government sector, you know that. But people are with a scarcity of expert people. Those who work in PMDs, even after retirement, or whatever they work, they can go on second month and things like that. That may be possible, right? Okay. So now
Sir,
we go
thank you,
to,
sir.
okay. Now we go to authorized limits we have given in the guideline. Now the ministry local funds, so 750, high level committee or standing high level committee. More than that, that should go to cabinet. In case of foreign funds, ministry can, high level committee can take determination only up to 150, 5,550 millions. But one important thing, this standing high-level committee has a special authority. What is that? Anybody can tell me? What the special authority high-level procurement committee has?
Like cabinet approvals?
Yes, they can give the approvals. Very correct. They can give the approval and send a note to the cabinet only. That's why we establish, it was there in the early also, they take decisions then and there and send the note to cabinet. Cabinet will approve later. It doesn't matter. We should not wait until the cabinet approval is given. Approval is given by, that is very good. You understood correctly. People understand. All other committees, I'm telling you, nobody can approve. No committee can approve. What they can do? They can recommend. Right? Who should approve it? Who should approve?
Cabinet.
Approving authority. Approving authority, highest is the cabinet. Second is the chief accounting officer. That means the ministry secretary or his delegated authority. All things should not go to secretary and say different authority levels that should be given. So they should be given the approval. So and departments also same and regional level also same. That is should be spelled out in the delegation of financial authority prepared by the finance department of all government ministries departments at the beginning of the year. The finance department should prepare a delegation of financial authority under financial regulation 135 onward. And who will authorize and approve, certify and payment, things like that, based on the authority levels and things like that. So that is the approving authority. Okay, don't mix that. No committee can approve. They only can recommend. Appointing bid opening committee and examine. Bid opening committee appointed by P with concurrence of PC, procedure BOC. So that is additional thing. Acceptance committee shall be appointed by the chief accounting officer, accounting as appropriate. One person asked, but all things are handled and administered by the PMD people. Acceptance committee, we have given a little elaboration. Acceptance committee is authorized to accept goods, works and services on behalf of the employer purchaser of the entity. In works contract, despite the functioning of this committee, the role of the engineer as provided in the relevant contract shall remain unchanged. That's what I said. AC shall independently check and accept the delivered goods, works and services in compliance with the requirement of the contract purchase order, inclusive of its technical and functional requirement, with its due consideration of the quantity, quality, cost and time, and also documentary evidence, ownership and the document evidence for ownership in terms of the word contract, and asset recording is also there. Okay. So they will ensure that tolls are properly recorded in proper asset. Those are done by different people. So this is in case of provincial council, that is given for them. That is, you understand, if you are working in provincial council, they can adapt this guideline. They can adapt this guideline to suit their administrative setup, because provincial council, there is no cabinet. That is called the board of ministers, and governor is there, and chief secretary is there as a chief accounting officer. But there are another chief accounting officers called the line ministry secretaries, provincial secretaries. They are also chief accounting officers, and accounting officers also there. So you understand that difference between central government and provincial. So accordingly, they have to change their committee level and things like that without exceeding the maximum limit given the central guideline. Within that, they have to do that. In case of local authority, it's completely different. Local authority, the chief accounting officer is the mayor. Okay, you understand that. Mayor is the chief accounting officer. The decisions are taken by different. Okay, that is important, right? For local government authority. So you as procurement expert should know everything. That's why I am giving this. So local authority or governed by municipal and town council ordinance. So authority procurement decisions are taken by, anybody can tell me? Who will take the procurement decisions? Approving authority. Who is the approving authority? Council. Council, say municipal council or urban council or town council, that consists of opposition. And in Colombo, for example, there are, I think, 100 more than 100 members. So they are the authority. Approving authority is approving authority. So council should approve. Then there's another council called the finance committee. So they also have the approving authority. The topic is council, finance commission, finance committee is also. Then the chief accounting officer. Chief accounting officer, I said, mayor. Accounting officer may be maybe commissioner, or secretary sometimes, no? I don't know, but mayor. Right? So delegation should be, and their committee should set up accordingly, right? They cannot have ministry procurement committee or department procurement committee, something like that. So they have to name properly, whatever the way. So understand that also. Because why Pradeshiya Sabha is coming under local authority. Pradeshiya Sabha is again the Sabhava. Sabhava is the authority. The approving authority is the Pradeshiya Sabhava, right? So there is a secretary, somebody, he may be the accounting officer, right? Secretary is the accounting officer, right? Pradeshiya Sabha. So commission, Pradeshiya Sabha is the authority to approve. Then as the accounting officer, but we have to check what is the exact position of the Sabha. There are no senior officers in Pradeshiya Sabha, right? Whatever it is, Pradeshiya Sabha is the authority in case of Pradeshiya Sabha. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. This one, another small change, as you all know, instead of TEC, now we have BTL committee. Appointing a BEC is a mandatory only for the procurement under, I said earlier also. BEC for MPC, DPC, PPC, etc. may be appointed, maybe. That is not mandatory, yeah, by the appointing authorities. Non-member secretary, alternative member participation is also there. So all committees, you should he is the person convene the meeting, and that member should come basically from the, if possible, from the PMD, in at least for high level. For PC minor contract, MPC, DPC, and so there are two committees you can appoint. Major one committee, minor committees. Minor committees you can appoint. For example, still earlier guideline also say major committee, one committee, DPC, and you can have couple of minor committees also. Otherwise, all decisions should be taken by one committee, get delayed. A minor committee that also there. Formats of provision. That is also there. So procurement committees, we say high level appoint Secretary to the Treasury is the appointing authority. Not less than 3 කියලා තමයි තියෙන්නේ. So you know that. Standing Secretary to the Treasury, not less than 5. Right? Ministry Chief Accounting Officer, minimum 3. Department, minimum 3. Project, minimum 3. All minimum 3. You can have more. If you have one committee without TEC, you can have 5 member or 7 member. Okay, that depends. High level bid evaluation committee, Secretary of the Treasury, high level, minimum 5. Yeah. Department, for example, minimum 3. Right. Now go to another chapter, chapter 3, procurement methods. I don't want to explain this one because probably you will get another presentation on procurement methods. But one thing I'll say, the change we have made, shopping, we have introduced international shopping. So if you need some goods, especially goods internationally, you can use electronic method. You need not to call a quotation like local we do, then nobody will respond. You can send email and you can get response from password protected emails. That is the way we have mentioned. The dates, time period we have given 14 days instead of 7 days national, something like that. So all changes you can read for your study purpose. Emergency procurement, we have given a lot of information. This guideline, please read this and understand how you work in an emergency situation. The emergency is not always national disasters, not always. Earlier, we defined emergency as a national disaster and government should declare emergency situation. That is not happening all the time. So if we have a disaster in a district, in a particular area, the particular authority can declare there is a disaster situation or emergency situation. For example, if it's a flood in Ratnapura, sometimes district secretariat or secretary or disaster management authority or something like that is there. They declare there's an emergency situation. Then this emergency procurement arrangement is possible. What is emergency procurement is we have reduced the time period and various relaxations are given. Community participation in work contract, we have changed a lot. Now, earlier it was 5 million, now we have reduced 2 million and we have made a lot of changes. Because we know the very idea of giving contract to community participation means to redistribute the income to rural people. But what is actually happening is that contract is done by some other people, politically influenced people or some officers also. Only 5% is given to the committee, the community organization, NGOs, and things like that. Now it is not possible. We have given restrictions that cannot be contract out. Nobody can contract out. The committee should do if they have the capacity, right? Amount we have reduced from 5 to 2 because there is a common allegation that is not done by the committee and that is only the name board. And procurement under co-finance is another change we have included. That is government gives some contribution and community organization also provide some provision, money provision. Then when you procure things, if the government grant is less than 50, please keep in mind, less than 50, the community requirement or that their requirement can be fulfilled. For example, they ask some particular machine, we can purchase that particular machine. Normally, it is not possible in the government procurement, or they have to give general thing and common things and things like that. but it is not always correct. In community, we work with the community using their money also. But if the government allocation is more than 50, can't help, we'll have to follow normal procedure. Okay. Bidding procedure, I think I explained earlier also. We have mentioned single stage 1 envelope, single stage 2 envelope, 2-stage bidding. So earlier, initial cabinet approval is mandatory. Now approval is not mandatory here. Earlier 2-stage cabinet approval is mandatory. Now it is not mandatory. Other repeat order is always there, and pre-qualification was also there. Same. Chapter 3, the change, I said international procurement, international shopping. When off-the-shelf goods, only goods, shopping we use for works also here and services also. But international shopping only for goods. When off-the-shelf goods with small value are not available in the local market, we can use online marketing platform. That is the important. Online marketing platforms or other relevant market websites, like what is this online marketing that people use?
AliExpress.
AliExpress and various marketing platforms are there. So government of, what is the Google or what I don't know. AliExpress is there, but I don't know. This young people know. Original manufacturers. So you can procure from original manufacturers or sole or authorized agents to obtain prices electronically. That is the thing. Prices electronically. How we get electronical prices without EGP? It is possible. That is called password protected emails. Okay, so you can ask them to submit your prices electronically to emails, but give a password. That password is given to the committee. They can encrypt and we can decrypt using the password. Okay. So emergency, I don't want to read out. There's a big story. You can just read all more details about the community participation work contract. I said not exceeding 2 million, earlier 5 million. This is an important change. And also we say total number of contracts, they cannot subcontract. It is also there. Entrusted should within the area. Another one. They cannot be given any contract without their mandate. So for example, say religious organization is there, they are constructing roads. It is not possible. That is not their mandate. Their mandate is to develop, say, the temple or whatever the religious place. All relevant works they can undertake if they have the capacity, but not to do roads and things like that. That is all wrong now. So we have, and also somewhere there you can check, they cannot subcontract. They cannot subcontract, right? That's what they do. They are not doing the contract. They only get 5%. So somewhere there you check that. A declaration by the side that work will not be subcontracted. They have to give that, right? Okay. Now you identified some changes made, right? So another change, this community they can competitively participate not exceeding 10 million contract. Please note down this one. And we can give 5% preference. Yes, Amya. If quotation are called including CBA when people allow income contract. Somewhere there's here. Margin of preference 5% can be given to this society. That is the benefit we can give. Not more than 10 million. They can participate competitive bidding. CBO which have registered in provincial council, district secretariat, division secretariat, local, and may relevant government may be awarded works contract only, not other thing. Not exceeding 10, subject to procedure laid down in below under competitive basis. Yeah. They can bid, they can get contract by bidding competitively. In this process, 3 sealed quotations shall be invited from CEDA registered CBO. That is important. Only CEDA registered CBOs. They have to register under CEDA, Construction Industry Development Agency. They have to register. Then organization can call 3 sealed quotation. Only registered people, they can give prices competitively and get 5%. Only other people also will bid, but among them, this community organization get 5% margin. Okay.
So that means that not CBO and the ICAT registered contractors are competitive in the one level, and their preference is 5%, no, sir, for the community.
Yeah. So, for example, not more than 10 million works contract, CBO, community-based organizations, can participate by responding to the quotations. But other CEDA registered people also there, no? Less than 10 million, I think what is that? Grade
Yeah,
C9?
below 10 million, yes, sir.
Huh?
Below 10,
C10,
so they are.
whatever. And they get only 5% preference. That's the only change. Okay.
So when we invite the quotation, so we can invite both, no, sir?
Sorry?
When we invite the quotation, so
Okay.
we can invite for the CBO as well as
Other people. Oh, yes. Not only CBOs. CBO also can participate, right?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Co-financing, I said not exceeding 50%. Should given beneficiaries requirement. So we can give the priorities if the government grant is less than 50. In other case where government contribution is less than, when the government contribution in such procurement exceed 50% total cost estimate of the work, a competitive procedure shall be followed by giving priority to the needs of the, we can give priority, but government procedure should follow. In case of where government contribution is less than 50%, directly we can, adhere to their requirement. Okay. That is a new change. Less than 50% beneficiary requirement is given. Adhered. Planning, the planning chapter, all things were there in the first earlier guideline, master plan, annual proposed plan, detailed plan. But this one is a new one. I said procurement preparatory plan. So that was a very important change we made in the guideline, and that has a big implication to the issues. In your question, I am coming back. Why we can't, that is a big question now. Why? Now we can't spend the money. Now, if you are really analyze your organization's procurement, they are not spending their budget because procurement unprepared. So they try to do everything once you get the allocation. It is too time-consuming many works. I mean, to get the local authority approval and preparation of documents, specification takes long time. As feasibilities, that's why we say you do all things for at least from next year. Don't wait until the money comes. You do this year, all preparatory works. Then only you can, reduce the delay. Otherwise, it is not possible. Now we are having another discussion with the finance ministry yesterday also. Last Thursday we had a discussion. Also, okay. We said you change your budget. Either you change the financial regulation, because financial regulation says you cannot commit to any procurement or whatever supplies without getting a financial allocation from the parliament approval. That means appropriation bill. Appropriation bill should be there, and otherwise they have no authority to spend money. The second thing is either you change that or provide token provisions. Token provision is a provision you can commit for future commitments this year, right? It is a methodology to allocate 10 rupees, for example. The next year's procurement, you do preparatory work using this one, right? That is a token provision. You will get money next year, then you have the right to spend, even advertise, right? And that we are thinking of that. I mean, even if you can't advertise, it takes long time to award the contract. It is a big problem. So we'll see. And also we have a medium-term budgetary framework, and we know 3 years budget allocation. So that may be sufficient sometimes to take action. For example, money is allocated 26 budget, 27 budget, or 28 budget. So then why can't we start our process right now? Right? We are not spending that money, no. We know exactly we should not spend. We cannot spend any money, a very small amount for preparatory work. We can spend construction. You can't make payment until proper execution is done. So therefore, we have to do some administrative change, regulatory change, and if it is done, we change our manual also. Okay, whatever it is, you think very broadly this area, because we have a big problem in procurement unpreparedness. So you check your own organization also. This is slicing, packaging, and lots of contract is also, we have given a new word, slicing or packaging basis of works contract. We gave that word to works contract. But goods contract, similar item could be grouped as lot. This is also another change we have made in the guideline, because we have to use correct terminology. You have to lot. For example, if you want to buy computers, laptops, and printers, etc., as a one lot. And construction, we have to identify the package. Building and road, whatever in the internal road, or all other interconnected construction as a one package. Or you can, a big one, say I always give, so 100-kilometer road, you can slice into four slices. That words we use for works, lot we use for goods. So you see this detail about this. This one I said, declaration on non-collusion and multiple bids. This is a new one. the bidder shall submit a mandatory declaration of non-collusion with the procurement document. It's a new one. So for that, bidder commit himself, if he submit 2 bids under different names, and we can suspend him or blacklist him. He himself give there is no collusion between different bidders, and bid rigging is they get together and increase the price. We may blacklist DIBA in case of collusion and reject all relevant bids. If we have the information, the same bidder has submitted under 3 names, 3 different names, they register under different names. So if it is revealed by some other information or revealed by other bidders, then we can make an inquiry and we can blacklist, right? So that is a new change for collusion and all. Minimum period we have changed again. So national competitive bidding, we have changed 14 days up to 50 million contract. So need not to give 21 days always. 21 days is the normal period. No? That is more than 50. Now it's a new change. Shopping, I said the international, we have included new one, 14 days. Emergency procurement, that is depending on the situation, we can reduce, and if you can read that. A pre-qualification of national 21, international 42, it is also new change because we didn't have earlier pre-qualification period. I don't know whether we had. Anyway, take that. Shopping, I said request for quotation national and indirect. Obtaining quotation verbally or through telephone fax is not acceptable in local, I mean national. However, secured password protected electronic submitted could be accommodated. Even check that, maybe international. Check that, please, whether it is applicable to local also, but my understanding is only for international. Bid security or is not mandatory. Bid security is not mandatory. We have mentioned here in the new guideline. For shopping, it is not mandatory. Earlier, even shopping also we use security, is not mandatory. You can use bid security in declaration. May be obtained depending on the nature of the procurement if procurement of bid security is stipulated in the bidding document, right? It is not mandatory. Sometimes we can use a different declaration. So this is how you can get prices, registered bidders, suppliers, reputed bidders using telephone directory, e-commerce website, reputed supplier for international shopping. International shopping is important. This is a new thing we put. A list of names, request of quotation may be prepared by browsing website. Initial PC approval is required. You note down. Procurement committee, relevant procurement committee approval is necessary to do international shopping using websites. These are the limits for shopping. So ministry, department, regional, things like that works up to 40 million, goods 25 million, PC up to 20, regional procurement committee go up to 6 million. This is this is what? This is committee is not necessary because all 3 committees are there here. The chief accounting officer or head of the department or project director can procure up to 2 million by getting some quotations, right? 3 quotations or whatever. Goods and non-consulting also up to 1 million. So committees are not required. Okay. Post account is, we have made a thing. You read this one also. Post account, yeah, this one. Cannot contract out. Post account is a method we use our own staff, own people, and engineers or technical people, and do our construction work, maintenance work by our people without giving to the private party. But some people misuse this. They get the works under force account and they give subcontract to another person. That is not possible under new guideline. So they can't subcontract. If you can't do, finish. You don't get under force account, and you call bids from other bidders competitively. Emergency procurement we discuss. Flexibility is all you can discuss later on under emergency, because bidding period change, security can advance payment, many things are changed. Under emergency, you can use different contract type also, rate contract. For example, under emergency situation, we have no time to prepare BOQs and all. When quantities are unknown, we don't know. This earth slips is there on the earth is on the road. There's earth slip. Then we have to remove that quickly by the relevant authority. How to do that? So we can use the rate contract method. Employ a person and ask his rate and give the work. Finish. Under direct contracting. Direct contracting or through competitive process. Either way you can do that. Because you understand that normal procedure is not possible. Percentage contract. Evaluation and comparison are based on a percentage difference of a quoted price compared to estimate price. So if you have an estimate, we give a percentage. Approach may reduce the bidding, submission and evaluation period. Evaluation and comparison are based on a percentage differences. Different people are giving different percent. I need 20%, other person say 25%, another person 18%. So we have the estimate, they ask their profit margin, something like that. So estimate plus profit margin. Concession contract. Chief Accounting Officer may determine granting concession to the supplier and contractors to the advance payment, interim payment, or payment of raw materials for expeditious delivery of the contract by taking different emergency. Right. So that is authority can be given to granting concessions under emergency situation, right? All are important for you to study. Community participation, again, not approved. Now we don't have approved list is not there like earlier. No approval list, approved list. The requirement is CBO shall have been registered under government institution. Shall have been registered under government institution as a society last 1 year before the date of contract award. That is the requirement. No list. Contract should not exceed 2 million. Not exceed 2 million. This is a new change. Advance payment up to 200,000. Earlier also there, I can't remember whether it's same thing. No subcontract is a new change, as I mentioned earlier also. They cannot subcontract. It's a new change. This one I am not sure whether it was there in the earlier guideline also. This one. Check that. Bid security is not needed. That is also new change. Because those are direct. direct, no bid security required. Award of contract to, I think, the 10 million one. We discussed that 5% margin, CDA grading is required. CEDA grading is required. This is a new thing. Again, a new thing. 5% margin was there even before that. Registration of CBO as a contract is described. In other procurement method, preference is not given to CBOs for shopping. Shopping, we are not giving. Bid security also change. Earlier, cash is half. Now the same. Earlier, bank deposit 1 to 2%, cash is 0.5 to 1. Now it is same. That is also change. Yeah, 1 to 2% is same thing. I have identified that. Bid proposal evaluation criteria and qualifying criteria. What are the bid proposals shall be evaluated in line with the stipulated procurement based on procurement principle. This is the new one I said earlier also in my evaluation and decision making presentation. Now we have highlighted and included bid evaluation principles into the manual. That is a very big change we have made, because if without understanding the principle, you make wrong decisions. Committee members, different decisions they take because they are not understanding the fundamental principles. So this time, if you look at our manual especially, we have identified some principles. In your presentations also, I think we have principles. In the future we'll discuss. That is a change under evaluation criteria. Performance security, I think same. Works contract not less than 5, goods contract not less than 10, service contract not less than 5. When the contract value is less than 5 million, this is a new term. When the contract value is less than 5 million, P may waive off performance security requirement. You check that whether it was there in the previous guideline also. Check that. My memory is it was not there. Come on, Evaluate. Contract agreement, that is also changed. Earlier, you can have a you should have a mandatory legal agreement. It is a mandatory, Here we say, now we have exceed the limit. If the goods contract exceeding 1 million, you should have a written agreement. Is a mandatory thing. Works and service contract limit is, don't forget this one, and use this one correctly. That is also change. Okay, with this I will stop. We'll discuss from this point. Please, somebody keep mind. I'll in another color. Okay. From this point, we can discuss some other day. Any question up to now?
Sir, that in the bid security, regarding the bid security, so
Okay.
we 1 to 2% we can request it. So in the same, when we publish in the, we require the bank guarantee. Sir. So
Yes.
in the same time, the one bidder asking, can he deposit the same money in our account? So is it acceptable? So when we publish in the
The thing is, wait. I'll say if it is a bank guarantee, say 1 to 2%, you decide, no? You calculate your estimate cost and you decide within 1 and 2. Okay, say 200,000 rupees. The bidder willing to deposit in your office. Okay? Let them to come to your office and ask him to deposit the money in your deposit account and issue a receipt and ask him to submit the original receipt. Okay? That is allowed. That is how you should do that. Instead of bank guarantee, cash deposit. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Any other question, please? Shall we stop there? Hello?
Yes, yes, sir.
Good night then.
Good night, sir. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good night.
Okay.
Okay.
Good night, sir.
Good night, everybody. We'll meet tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good night, Kamani.
Good night, sir.
Good night, Asankar. Good night, everybody.